Unfortunately, I got 40 years of life right now, 15 years of life for second-degree murder, 25 to life for gang and the gun enhancements.
What was that moment that kind of shifted everything for you?
Being in that shoe, man. My mom passed away. You know, in the shoe, you can't get on the phone. It took a lot, though, for me to start doing my best to put myself first and do what I know she would want me to do as a man.
So first and foremost, what's your name and where you from?
My name is Kenny. You know, I'm from South Central LA. You on junior high horseman attentive. That area right there, to be specific.
Okay. Now, if you don't mind me asking, what are you down for?
I'm down for second-degree murder.
Now, how long you been down?
Been down 15, going on 16.
How do you feel today? Like, how's your spirit? How do you feel today?
Today I feel good. I feel blessed. I feel alive. I feel grateful. You know what I mean, for still being able to breathe and have some some integrity about myself over this time. You know, I haven't lost my mind. You know, still got my sanity. Still got family members and loved ones that love me out there. You know, I feel great.
Now, how long have you been down now?
15.
15. What's your sentence?
Unfortunately, I got 40 years of life right now. 15 years of life for second-degree murder. 25 to life for gang and the gun enhancements. But I would have board in less than 4 years. And I'm in the process of doing everything I got to do to position myself to get up out of here, you know, meeting all the requirements that's met around here, staying disciplinary free, you know what I mean, trying to maintain A1A status with good work ethics and, you know what I mean, going to self-help groups, you know what I mean, also trying to facilitate certain groups, you know, just trying to do something constructive, you know what I mean, with my life so I could, because I know I'm a huge impact on not just myself, but others around me too.
So we originally met, you were at SAC.
Yeah, California State Prison, Sacramento, New Folsom, to be exact, C-Yard.
Absolutely, and when we met there, man, you had such an amazing energy and spirit. Instantly, I could see everybody gravitated to you, our volunteers, and I saw how you were essentially running things on the yard, man, and it was amazing. And then I remember when we posted you dancing, bro, it went crazy.
We're regular, huh? On the real, because you feel the spirit, though. You feel me? It's all in the soul. You feel me? It's all in the soul. And you feel me? It's where I'm at today with myself, though. I'm going with my soul tell me to do. My soul got me aware of my impact on others, you know, and that's my influence that I got in. I'm ready to utilize that in the righteous aspect that I can, the best way that I can, you know what I mean? Because I know so many people follow after me and look up to me. So whatever they see me doing, I'm quite sure that they'll follow me. So if y'all follow me to lead in this path, you know what I mean? I want y'all to follow me and see me doing something constructive, something that's gonna bring forth something good for all of us, not just for me and my community, but for us as a people.
Now, were you always aware of your influence?
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I probably utilized it in the wrong aspect because at one point, that's where I was at, you know, but you know, I'm spiritual, you know what I mean? I'm Muslim and I go to Juma and I pray and I know that God set me down, you know what I mean, for me to understand that I'm way greater than half of the things I was out there doing, you know, even in here, thinking that it was over at one point, you know, I know God still got me right here, right now, because He like, no, you got so much good to give back to. And I do so much good every day that go unannounced because that's what I'm supposed to do. So if I could be any help, I'm gonna do my best to be it.
Now, what was that moment that kind of shifted everything for you? Can you remember a specific moment?
Yeah, man. Being in that shoe, man, for you know what I mean, some charges, you know what I mean, caught years ago, probably over 10 years ago, and my mom passed away. You know, it's my great auntie, but I called her mom because she raised me, and she passed away in there, and I you know, in the shoe you can't get on the phone. You know what I mean? You can't. You know, it was like that was really the first person that I lost that was somebody to me like that. You know, family members that raised me though. So it took a lot though for me to start doing my best to put myself first and do what I know she would want me to do as a man, to what she raised me as, you know. So I do my best to be, you know what I mean, that man that she would want me to be, even though that she's not here in the physics, she still see me spiritually and she's still here. So I do my best, you know what I mean, to do good by people and do good by her, you know.
Absolutely. Now, you say you were raised by your great auntie.
Yeah, my great grandmother and my great auntie, great uncles. I was raised by all the greats.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why a lot of people say I got an old soul. I was raised by a lot of older people. You know what I mean? The only kid in the house. That's why I was always outside too. One of those kids in the house, you know, all older people. I was outside. You know what I mean? I went to hang with my friends. But yeah, man, everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely. Now, if you don't mind me asking, I mean, feel free to skip over the question. But what was your parents? What was that situation like?
Oh, my parents, my dad, he was all the way till I was like 10 or 11. He was in and out of prison, and I grew up with his grandmother. And yeah, I grew up with my dad's grandmother, and my mother, she was out there. She was out there in hey look, she was out there in Michigan.
Hey, we're not doing none of that podcast shit, kid.
Hey, look, bro.
They're homies, nigga.
Bro.
They're homies, nigga.
Homies.
We out here, though.
We don't do it when we out here, though.
Hey, but yeah, man, the homies, these my partners right here, man, every day.
Nah,
They
it's
some
all
good people.
good.
They
It's
some
love.
good people.
It's
You know,
love.
everybody want that, you know what I mean? But because there's so many great talents and great people behind these walls that go unnoticed. And it's like, man, just be rare for us to having, you know what I mean, people that actually come here legit for us to reach out and send some good positive words to them people on the streets though, you know, so homies, we be looking forward to having y'all coming up here that, you know what I mean, let us speak out there to some of them good people out there. They need to hear some good words from good people. It's another good brother, you know what I mean? They need to hear some good words from some good people.
Absolutely. So to that point, what are some of the messages that you want to send out there to the youth that you now have so much influence over, especially in your neighborhood, but even beyond that?
Yeah, don't be so quick to try to prove yourself to people to try to fit into something, man. You know what I mean? Like, be who you are. Like, that's the best advice that I can give somebody. Be who you are, because that's how you survive in life. You know what I mean? People find themselves in situations being other than who they was here to be, you know, but sometimes that be God sitting us down to let us find ourselves at the same time, you know, because at one point, man, you know, I was out there lost, thought that this was a life, and I had to come in here and bump my head to sit down and lose so much to be like, you know what, hold on, man, look, you great in a whole lot of other areas, bro. Like, you know what I mean? There's so much other stuff that you can do. I never left LA County till I came to prison, you know, so I'm like, there's a whole world out here that I want to see and venture when I get out, you know? Yeah, man, so that's what I'll be on. That'd be my motivation, you know?
Right. So question for you, you know, when we come in, sometimes we have fun and everybody's smiling and it's a beautiful day. It's an escape from the norm, right? But on a regular day, like, what are some of the things that you go through? What are some of the things that you can speak on that serve as a deterrent, so people, when they hear it, they recognize that, like, this ain't where you want to be?
Yeah, this ain't where you want to be, because you're gonna be, you know, unfortunately, prison. It's obviously like I guess it's where they put some of the people that they consider the lowest of the lowest. And everybody in here ain't bad people, but some people here dirtbags too. And some of these people would, you know what I mean, trigger you to come outside your character. But it's like you gotta maintain discipline and maintain knowing who you are though, you know what I mean? Controlling your emotions, controlling, you know what I mean, your surroundings, you know what I mean, who you are. Sometimes you gotta know yourself. Be days to where I be like, man, I'm not even gonna come out the cell because, you know what I mean? I know me, you know, and I don't want somebody to be playing or trigger me to, and it's like, no, but that's the growth that I see in myself though. Like, man, hold on, at one point, I used to be responding so much, but like now it's like, man, I don't know from my experience, I've been through too much, you know, so it's like, man, it's different now. It's like, man, I could be able to see and think before I just act, you know, because I've seen so much before, so it's like I can see stuff coming. So now I know how to address certain things, or even if like I know how to turn away. And I'm a man before anything, so I'm not afraid to, you know what I mean, let certain stuff go. I know who I am. And I think for people more than they probably think for themselves at the times, you know, so that's where I'll be at.
Absolutely. You know, the other day we were at Rikers Island in New York with the brother Shaka Senghor, formerly incarcerated, New York Times best-selling author. He actually just dropped a book called How to Be Free, but also Charlemagne the God came in with us, and he spoke on being able to let people know when they hurt your feelings and being man enough to say, like, hey man, like, I didn't like that. That hurt me, and this is why, and communicating that, and how much communication can kind of de-escalate situations.
With the communication, what I learned, everybody ain't gonna understand the message that you gotta give. So the communication, you gotta, I ain't gonna say limited, you gotta take the initiative to try to enlighten, but some people, they gonna wanna go back and forth with you because they not there. It's gonna go over their head, and it's like, man, I'm kind of there to where it's like, man, I'ma still do my part, But once I see like, man, you stuck in your ways or you ain't trying to be receptive to the good that I'm telling you, and I'm only telling you because I've been through certain stuff, and I'm telling you, I see where you're headed. Cause man, hold on, I didn't listen at one point. I didn't listen, man. Shit, I had so many good people in my life that I'm blessed today to have that. Cause some people ain't grow up in love in the house. I had love in the house. You know what I'm saying? I just was young and chose to run them streets. You know what I mean? But I ain't, shit, I'm grateful. I had people that love me, you know what I mean? So maybe that's why I'm able to give so much love today to not just my family and friends, but just for, you know what I mean, human kindness, shit, because I know that's the way of the world. That's the way of the life, That's the way of the world, man.
Have you forgiven yourself?
Yeah, I had to. But it might sound crazy, but when my mom passed, when she was in that shoe, when my great auntie, when she passed, for like the first 5 days, bro, I couldn't do nothing. I ain't gonna lie, but like, man, she came to me and told me, boy, you better get up, like, you know what I mean, get your shit together, because I'm still watching you, boy. I forgive you. You gotta forgive yourself. But knowing, like, man, like, even after that, I lost some more family members that was something to me, and they got me in spirit, you know what I mean, because all the wisdom and knowledge that they gave me, I utilize it today, and that's why I'm so grateful. But they told me that I had to forgive myself because I was young when I was out there, you know what I mean, doing what I was doing, you know what I mean? And that's why they passed some of these new laws, because half of us wasn't even understanding the totality of our actions before we was out there doing what we was doing, So, and me knowing that, hell yeah, I had to forgive myself, you know what I mean? It's like, man, you didn't know no better. You kind of knew better, you knew right from wrong, but you didn't understand everything that you was doing and everything that you was gonna be going through once you got caught up, And what my mom used to always tell me, boy, it's easy to get in jail, but it's hard to get out. And right now, that's where I'm struggling with, you know what I mean? Well, not struggling because I'm focused, but I know I'm at a spiritual warfare with myself, you know what I mean? I'm my own worst enemy because I know better. So when I don't do better, that's where I be, that's where I be like at, because I know better, man. I've been through too much,
Right. Right, absolutely. Now, again, I'm gonna ask a question. Feel free to pass over it. But have you ever had any contact with your victim's family or anything? Is there any sort of message that you sent to them, or a message that you would want to send to them? And feel free to pass over it if you.
No, it's cool because it's like, I gotta go to board, and I done been in certain classes and programs in here that actually had me thinking in that area to where I had to take the time out to write remorse letters and things in that nature, and that's something that I'm also working on with myself, in the spiritual aspect, because everybody like matter, man, and even if I wasn't the one on this crime or whatever, it is just like, man, I was destructive at one point, and that's why I can't be destructive no more, so that's why I try to give on some good insight that I can, because I can only imagine if I wasn't sitting down right now, like I could have been like a gang of my homies out and lost that I love to death, and I'm just imagining they moms and grandmas and things like that, and I'm like, man, I know my granny, like, man, damn, that would have, hurt her, and
Absolutely, man. So I want to ask you this last question. I say it's the last. I tend to do that. Say I'm asking you one more, but when it's all said and done, when you up out of here, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want people to remember about you?
Oh man, he was honorable, man. His word, he was impeccable with his word. You know what I mean? He did his best, to be a good dude. You know what I mean? He helped as much as he could. And you know what I mean? Shit, he was a great man, he stood on business. If he said something, he was gonna make sure that it came through, his word, my word, everything, and you gotta be impeccable with your word, or at least give it your all, and everything that you do in life, you try to give it your best. You know what I mean? Try to be the best in all areas, in all aspects, you know what I mean? You for real, you know what I mean? From everything that you do, from being a father, a parent, a brother, a sister, you know what I mean? A son, an uncle, or a homie, you know what I mean? A mentor, you know what I mean? Whatever, you know what I mean? Give it your best, you know what I mean? Try to treat people how you want to be treated. And I think that's how you will make it far in life,
Absolutely. What would you say to anybody who thinks that people who come to prison are the worst of us, the worst of society? What would you say to that?
Just because based off like all the crimes that be committed out there, and I'm not in agreement, ain't nobody perfect, you know what I mean? Ain't no sin bigger than the other one. So it's like, man, there's just a lot of stuff that we don't agree with, man. Little kids out there and like, certain things, but it's like, it ain't my job to judge nobody. But at the same time, it's like, society, they look at us like, man, no matter if they understand where you was at that time in your life where whatever landed you to being here, like it ain't nobody trying to be judging nobody, man, you know, because ain't no right or wrong place, ain't no right or wrong time, you know what I mean, to find that paradigm shifting, you know what I mean, get your life together. You know what I mean? Because you read the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, whatever, like half of the people in the Bible was some of the same people that surround us today. You know what I mean? Majority of them, you know, people got to open that book and, you know what I mean, get some knowledge, get some game, so they can kind of understand a little bit different, you know what I mean, be able to relate a little different, you know?
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Anything you want to leave us with?
Yeah, man, moving forward, man, you know, I just want to say, man, God bless the people, man, because right now, we at a time in life to where, man, it's like so much opportunity, man, and I be wanting people out there, man, to influence these youth, though, man, to, you know what I mean, do something different, man. There's people out there that's still trying to utilize these youth to do stuff that they ain't even doing because, you know what I mean, and I don't like that. You can't be no hypocrite, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, man, let's teach these youth something different. You know what I'm saying? Something good because that's the future. You know what I mean? I'm 34, so these little kids is 14, 15. Like, man, we can't ruin their lives. They ain't even got no record. You know what I'm saying? They could be so much in life. Let's start speaking good words to them, though. Showing them something great, showing them something different. Let's break that cycle, though. You know what I mean? This repetitive cycle that been going on for the 60s. Let's break that cycle, though. You know what I'm saying? Let's do something different because it's the best time in America to be the people, you know?
If you had somebody to pour into you when you were a kid in the same way that you now look to pour into the youth, what do you think you could have been?
Could have been anything, man. You know, football player, basketball player, probably you know what I mean, a personal trainer, boxing or whatever, you know what I mean. But it's like whatever like whatever I'm taught, like I catch on easy. You know what I mean? I'm like I learn easy, and it seems like everything that I do, I'll be great in it. You know what I mean? Football, basketball, I'm a star. You know, running the streets, a star. You know, but yeah, man, like my uncle before he got incarcerated, he used to do everything for me. He used to have me in football, take me to church and all that. But I was like 9 when he went to jail, and by the time he came home, I was already in here.
Right.
But yeah, man, you know, yeah. I wish I would have stayed in sports or something, you know what I mean? But it ain't too late for nothing though. You know what I mean? I could you know what I mean, save a soul these days with my influence. You know, I could coach somebody else, you know. That's why I become my blessings and still being grateful to be here. Because there's so many other lives that I can have an impact and help and you know what I mean, and you know, for us to grow as a people.
Absolutely, brother. I just want to say I appreciate you so much for talking to us.
You, man.
One more question. I know I keep doing this, but I keep thinking of things, bro. And while I got you here, man, I feel like this is gonna be my longest interview today, man. I feel like I got a celeb on the yard for real. Now the way I mean, I'm telling you, man, you saw it, like the way that people gravitated towards you, man, and the way that, you know, just you dancing and your joy and your spirit came through. Man, it was just amazing, man. But if they opened up these gates today, what's the first thing you do?
First thing I want to do, but I ain't gonna lie, I want to give my wife a hug because she been right here staying strong with me, you know what I mean? When everybody else feel like they gave up on me, you know what I mean? Her and my little stepson, man, they keep me going, man, you know, and I want to be there for them, though, you know, because he out there without a father. So it's like, man, hold on, let me be, you know what I mean, that mail road that he needs, you know what I mean? So start trying to break that cycle there, though. And I'm starting from right here, doing my best, but yeah, that's what I want to do.
Absolutely. What's the first meal you're gonna eat?
I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. I'm a foodie. You know what I mean? I eat. I want her to surprise me with something. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. Surprise me. She know what I eat.
Right.
Surprise me. It'd be way better than all these burritos and rice bowls I've been eating all this time. I'm tired of eating that, bro. This ain't living up here. I know people be looking and saying, "Oh, you're in there. Look like y'all living good, man." We barely we just surviving, bro. You know what I mean? We ain't living. We surviving. That's it. It's a difference. A big difference.
Trying to make the best of it.
I'm gonna go home and live. You know what I mean? For real. And I am though.
Absolutely. I know I'm going to see you on that other side.
Sure,
for sure,
see you, man. We going up.
For sure, brother.
You know,
Much
sir.
love, man. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, big
And that
bro.
was beautiful.